Every year, a dozen or so players fly under the radar and end up helping people win their fantasy football leagues. Your best chance to set yourself up for success comes in the draft. And today, I'm going to help you identify 5 players who are primed to outproduce their ADP and lead you to the promised land in 2023. Let's do a quick recap of last season for Jerry Jeudy. He played on the worst offense in football, with the worst coach in the league, and he really only played 13 full games because of an injury that he suffered. Despite all of this, he finishes the wide receiver 21 in half PPR leagues, and now he's somehow going as the wide receiver 23, even though he finished better last year, with basically everything going wrong that possibly could. His situation did nothing but improve this offseason. The team brought in Sean Payton to be the new head coach, who's one of the best offensive minds in football, to help turn things around. In his tenure with the Saints, the team ranked second in points per game and first in overall yardage. He's an X factor for this team, and I'm confident that he's going to unleash Jerry Jeudy this year. And yeah, some are concerned that Russell Wilson is washed at this point in his career, but we saw Jeudy do fine last year despite his bad play, and Wilson is almost certainly going to be a lot better with Peyton running things and another year in the system. I don't see a world where Jerry Jeudy can get worse this year while his situation gets significantly better, so he's trending towards being one of my guys for fantasy football this year. It's crazy to think that someone with an ADP of running back 6 could be undervalued, but here we are with Nick Chubb. He finishes at running back 5 last year after being the overall RB1 through the first 8 weeks of the season, and his dip in production happened when Deshaun Watson came back from his suspension, which is why some people are scared to draft him this year. I'm here to tell you, you shouldn't be. Nick Chubb is QB proof. We've seen him produce with Baker Mayfield, Jacoby Brissett, and Tyrod Taylor, so even if Deshaun Watson somehow continues to play at a below average level, that won't be the nail in the coffin for his fantasy value. Now, imagine if Watson goes back to playing at the elite level that he was playing at the beginning of his career, when he had 3 straight Pro Bowls. If he plays anything like that, this offense is going to be one of the most improved in football, which will give Chubb a lot more scoring opportunities in the red zone. Here's an interesting stat for you. When there are 8 or more defenders in the box, Chubb averages only 3.2 yards per carry. When there's 6 or less, however, Chubb averages an insane 6.6 yards per carry. If the team can establish more of a passing threat this year, which I definitely think they will, defenses will be forced to spread out and not stack the box as much, which could make Nick Chubb even more efficient than he's been over the course of his career. He's got all of these things going for him, and I haven't even mentioned the fact that Kareem Hunt likely won't be on this team in 2023, which means that Chubb will literally get all of the work and could see an uptick in receptions, which will make him that much more dangerous. He's my running back 3 right now, and I'm comfortable taking him as high as the 5th overall pick in most league formats. I get that it's scary to draft Breece Hall coming off the ACL injury, but I think it's a risk worth taking. Some talents in the NFL are just special, and that's Hall. He had the best juke rate in football last year at 50.5%, and he also had the NFL's second best breakaway run rate at 11.3%, just behind Nick Chubb. His competition in the backfield right now is perennially mid Michael Carter, 2022 undrafted free agent Zonovan Knight, and 2023 5th round rookie Israel Abanikanda. This could change if Dalvin Cook ends up signing there, but as it stands right now, there is absolutely nobody to challenge him for work in this backfield. The team's also getting a massive upgrade at quarterback, going from draft bust Zach Wilson and a washed Joe Flacco to a first ballot Hall of Famer in Aaron Rodgers. This offense as a whole is going to take a massive step up in 2023, and that'll give Hall more opportunities in scoring range and could lead to him being even more efficient if defenses have to respect the passing game. He might start off a little slow because of his ACL injury, but don't worry. He'll be back to 100% before long, and certainly in time to help you win a championship down the stretch. One injury really made everyone forget how good Marquise Brown was when he was healthy and when DeAndre Hopkins was off the field. To refresh your memory, let's look back at his first 6 weeks of the season when he wasn't injured and when he was the top target for the Cardinals. In that span, he averaged 10.5 targets per game and was the wide receiver 6 in total PPR points. Those are some damn good numbers for someone who's going as the wide receiver 34 right now. If you want a bigger sample size, he averaged 9.6 targets per game when he was on the field and D-Hop wasn't. Do we really think he's going to get less targets this year while he only has to compete against Rondale Moore and rookie Michael Wilson as opposed to D-Hop? No way. He's going to be a top 10 in the NFL in targets if he plays the season fully healthy. And when Murray comes back from his ACL injury, he's going to completely light it up. As long as he can stay healthy, he's almost guaranteed to outperform his outrageously low average draft position.
Will it be a life of fear, of, oh, no, I can't do this, of never once believing in yourself?
I don't know.
If you're going to play scared in fantasy football, you probably aren't going to win. A typical league has 11 losers and only one winner, so you need to be willing to take risks that the other 11 aren't willing if you want to be the one winner. For me this year, that decision is Calvin Ridley. There's no denying that it's risky, given the fact that he hasn't played football in well over a year and is now in a new situation with a new quarterback. But we need to remember, he's a phenomenal football player, and it's usually a good idea to simply bet on talent in fantasy football. In his last season, he averaged 10.4 targets per game for Matt Ryan, who was on the downhill part of his career. Now, he's going to get Trevor Lawrence, who's one of the best young quarterbacks in the NFL and averaging more passing attempts per game than Matt Ryan did in 2021. Despite what some people believe about Christian Kirk, he's not a true alpha wide receiver one. I'm willing to bet that Ridley comes in on day one as the top receiver on the team and averages close to 9 targets a game for one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. With that kind of volume, he's almost a sure bet to outperform his ADP. Always take smart and calculated risks in fantasy football, but remember, you're not playing to finish in the middle of the pack. You're playing to win, so draft like it. Thanks for watching this video. If you want more content like this, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell to never miss the latest drop. Also, be sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok @FallBallSports.